So 2 reasons I'm going to be switching my account from Questrade to Interactive Brokers. Of course, it's going to be commissions, so commissions. And since I like to sell options, I'm going to look at the option commissions. Now, I do sell options on US stocks. I'm going to look at US commissions. Now, with Questrade, right now I'm under the active trader commission plan. So I pay about $89 a month for that in order to get this commission structure. So with option, it's a flat fee of $4.95, and then it's 75 cents a contract. And it also gives me advanced streaming, whether it's US or Canadian. I picked the Canadian option. Now, the $89 a month is reimbursable. If I spend over $400 of commissions per month, I can get this $89 reimbursed. Right now, I'm not spending that much, so I'm only getting a portion back. I think I'm getting like $20 back of the $89 a month. So I'm paying this much to get this low commission structure, which is $4.95 flat, 75 cents a contract. Otherwise, if I don't pay that $89 a month, it's $10 flat, and I believe it's $1 a contract. Yeah, $1 a contract. So if for a naked put, for example, I do mostly naked puts. So if I sell one contract of a naked put, with Questrade, it's going to cost me $4.95 to open the trade, plus 75 cents. So it's going to cost me $5.70 to open the trade. And then to close the trade, it's going to be another $5.70. It's going to cost me about $11.40 to close a trade, to open and close a trade, a naked put trade with Questrade if it's one contract. If it's two contracts, for example, it's going to be $4.95 plus 0.75 plus 0.75 plus 0.75, so it's about $6.45 just to open the trade, and then times 2, it's $12.90 to open and close the trade. But since it's two contracts, if you want to divide it by the number of contracts, so it's about, not times 2, sorry, but divided by 2, so it's about $6.45 a contract. But I actually made this trade twice, open and close. So we could take the $12.90 divided by 4, so it's about $3.20 per contract if you want to compare it on the per contract level. So it's still pretty expensive. Questrade becomes better if I'm doing a lot of volume. So if, let's say I do 10 contracts, right? So if $4.95 just open the trade, and then 75 cents times 10, that's $7.50. So if I take all that now divided by 10, now I'm down to $1.25 per contract. So it's not so bad. But still, for someone who does one contract mostly on my trades with interactive brokers, it's going to cost me about 65 cents a contract. And in practice, in reality, I know it varies. Sometimes you can get rebates depending on the route that you send your order through. So sometimes you get a rebate or even get money back for your commission. So you don't pay, you actually get something back. But regardless, it hovers around 65 cents. And I know also for certain indexes or ETFs that track the index, sometimes it's about $1.30 per contract. So regardless, there's no flat fee. Regardless, it's still much cheaper than Questrade, especially in my case, because I'm only doing, most of my trades are usually one contract. Now, if I do covered calls, I would have to buy shares. So let's go back and see how much it costs to buy shares. So stocks and ETFs here. So even to buy shares, you could see here if the monthly volume is below 300,000. So it's either you take the tiered version or the fixed version, but the tiered version is 0.0035 cents per share, but there's a minimum per order of 35 cents. So basically, they're expecting you to buy at least 100 shares. So 0.0035 times 100 shares, that's 35 cents. But then there's a maximum per order of 1% of your trade value. So let's say you buy a stock that's worth, let's say, $200. So $200 times 100, let's say you buy 100 shares, that's $20,000. So they'll compare both. So what's 35 cents of 100 shares? It's still going to be 35, not 35 cents, sorry, but 0.0035 times 100 shares is still going to be 35 cents. Or the maximum, which it would be 1% of 20,000, which is 0.01, which is $200. So obviously it's not going to be 1% of the trade value. In this case, it's going to be the minimum per order, which is the 35 cents. Now, where the maximum comes in is going to be where you're buying a cheap stock and you're buying thousands of shares. So let's say you're buying a stock that costs $5, and I don't know, you've got $100,000 to spend on it. So that means you're going to be buying how many shares? 100,000 divided by 5, you'll be buying 20,000 shares. So if you take 20,000, multiply it by 0.0035, that's $70 in commissions just to buy this stock. But that's where the maximum per order comes in. In this case, we spent 100,000, so 0.01 times 100,000 is $1,000. So that doesn't even kick in yet. So still, you'd be only paying the 35 cents or 0.0035 cents per share, and but that means you'd be paying about $70 in commission, which is pretty high. So in this comparison, actually, Questrade is better, because with Questrade, you'd only be paying $4.95. So stocks is $4.95 per trade, regardless how many shares you buy. With interactive brokers, if you buy many shares, it's going to cost you a lot, because it's the price is per share. So yeah, but that'll be definitely for people that trade a lot of stocks or a lot of shares. I only sell options, and it's most of the time it's one contract. So in my case, I just want to look at options. So it's right over here, 65 cents a contract. So definitely much cheaper than Questrade. With Canadian stocks, it's about $1.25 per contract. So still cheaper than Questrade. And I know with interactive brokers, you will have some extra fees that are not included in this 65 cents, like exchange fees, clearing fees, regulatory fees, and transaction fees. But they're never going to be more than 65 cents. Probably in total might be, I don't know, 80 cents, 90 cents combined. But like I said, sometimes people get rebates instead of having to pay commissions on their trades, depending on which route you send your order. Now, if I look at my Tradelog spreadsheet, I haven't logged in it for a while, but let's look at 2021, or let's look at all the trades that were closed in, or 20. Yeah, I haven't logged much in 2022, so let's look at 2021, and let's see how much I would have saved in commissions if I were with interactive brokers. So since I started logging on my spreadsheet here, July 2020, so let's look how much I've spent on commissions in total. I've spent in total $6,500 in commissions. Now, how much I would have saved if I were with interactive brokers. So you can see part of the commission, there's a flat fee of $4.95 to enter the trade and to close the trade. Some of the trades I let expire worthless. So if I let the trade expire worthless, like this line over here, there's no flat fee for closing the trade. So instead of going through each and every one of them, I'll just compare what if I let them all expire and what if I had closed them all. So let's see how many trades I have here. So let's do a count function here. So if we look at the count, I've got about 546 lines here. 546 lines. And let's say they each had a $4.95 in and out. So 4.95 times 2. So in and out, open and close the trade, $4.95. That's the flat fee. Times our count of lines, our count of trades. We said it was 546. So times 546. That means I would have saved at least $5,400 in commissions if I were with interactive brokers since July 2020. If I had done these exact same trades here with interactive brokers, I would have saved over $5,000 in commissions. I'm not considering the variable rate because it's pretty much the same. The variable portion of the commission structure with Questrade compared to interactive brokers is pretty much the same, 75 cents. I had mentioned it before. If Questrade can remove this flat fee, Questrade would be very competitive. If not, I think would be better than interactive brokers, because at least we know it's always a fixed 75 cents. I know with interactive brokers, it's not always exactly 65 cents per contract. But because of that flat fee in and out, it makes a big difference. And as you can see in my situation since July 2020, so almost a little bit over 2 years, would have saved about $5,000 in commissions. And I haven't logged all my trades this year, so it's actually probably much more. Now, the other reason I'm interested in slowly transitioning to Interactive Brokers is the interest on uninvested cash, because that's exactly my situation right now. I've pretty much closed a lot of positions for a loss, and I'm just holding on cash, just waiting to buy back in when things become discounted. So I'm just holding a lot of cash. And also, if I'm doing 0DTE SPX trades, I'm basically cash at the end of the day, and I'm just in and out. I'm just using buying power intraday, making a trade, and then getting my buying power back. So I have idle cash for sure, so I could benefit from at least from this interest rate. Now let's see how it works. So accounts with a net asset value of 100,000 US or more are paid interest at the full rate for which they are eligible. So if you have less than 100,000, you still get some interest rates, but it's proportional to the size of the account. So it's probably prorated based on your account size. So you're not going to get the full 3.83% that we saw on the first page. So let's say you have 100,000 in your portfolio and your net asset value is as well 100,000. Your blended rate, your interest rate would be 3.4%. So it's much better than a savings account. It's not as good as a GIC at a bank, but at least your cash is liquid and available to you to trade right away and buy stuff with it if you want. Now let's say we had 50,000 cash, but 100,000 net asset value, you're getting 3%, okay? What if I had 150,000 net asset value? I'd be getting still 3%. So what if I have 120,000 cash? I'd be getting 3.5. What if I have Canadian? 3.32. So this is the second reason why I want to switch to Interactive Brokers, so that I can at least gain interest from cash that's sitting there not doing anything. Or even cash that's being used as buying power to sell options. It's still cash. You're not using cash when you sell a put, right? It's just buying power that's being used, but your cash doesn't actually leave the account. The only time cash leaves the account is when you buy something. So if you buy stocks or if you buy options, then the cash is leaving your account. In fact, when you sell options, cash comes into your account. So you're increasing your cash balance until you actually close the trade and buy it back. So yeah, keeping it short, these are two reasons why I'm considering switching to Interactive Brokers, but doing it gradually. I've already funded my account $1,000. I'm going to do some option trades with it first, get used to the platform, and then I'll switch my whole account. And don't forget, I've got an affiliate link in the description below the video. Use it if you want to open an account. All right, thanks for watching.